We are honored to have one of the greatest pastors in America, Dr. Tommy Barnett, First Assembly Phoenix, the founder of the Dream Center, 268 ministries that have emanated out of the great First Assembly, and so many other things we could say about you. Thank you for being here.
What a joy to be with you, Jerry, today. I have looked forward to this time with you a long, long time.
Well, we go back a long way, but you have touched the lives of just thousands of pastors. Would you capsule the story of First Assembly Phoenix, the great pastor school?
Well, we went there some 36 years ago. I've been 60 years now in the ministry.
Wow.
And 36 years ago, we went to Phoenix, leaving Davenport, Iowa, and going there with a dream, nothing but a dream, 200 people, but we had a dream to do something for God. And today our church runs well over 20,000 people. In all of its outreaches, near 30,000 people. God has raised up an army of people, and we built the church on find a need and fill it, find a hurt and heal it. And because of that, these 260 ministries have developed out of it, using things like drama. We finished recently a great Christmas pageant in which we had over 100,000 people that came, 16 performances, and we'd have about 3,000 people a night that would stand to accept Christ as their personal Savior. And it's all about winning people to Christ. It's what you've been about all your life, Jerry. I remember those great crusades that we had in our church with you, where hundreds of people accepted Christ nightly. And that's really what the ministry is about. That's what the church is about. It's about what Jesus came for. He came to seek and to save that which is lost. And that's our mission, and that's been the mission of Phoenix First and the Dream Center in LA.
Well, you know, you've written this book, The Power of a Half Hour, and it's available on our e-store. We want you to get it. We're going to talk about it in just a minute, taking those fleeting moments and turning them into defining moments. What a great word this is in our action-packed world. You know, I remember one time preaching for you when Michael Jordan's mom was out in the audience.
Yes.
And I mean, you have ministered to, and your son Matthew now at the Dream Center. Let's talk about the Dream Center.
Well, you know, we started out to build a church. And when we got there, we found out you could get a lot of people saved, but you couldn't keep them. And we realized one day that you had to get them away from the pimps and the drug addicts and all the terrible people that would draw them away from Christ. So we had 16 houses around the Dream Center that this little church had bought, a little ghetto church. And so when we get them saved, we put them into these homes. And we realized that so many were getting saved, we didn't have room. So one day we drove by and saw the Queen of Angels Hospital, which was right on the Hollywood freeway, 16 stories high, 1,500 rooms. They wanted $16 million for it. Now, I knew we couldn't afford it. We could not afford it. But to pacify my son Matthew, who wanted to buy it, he said, would you at least look at it? When I did, I thought, I don't want to disappoint him, so I'll make a ridiculous offer, and they will refuse it, and then I'll be off the hook. So when it was over, she said, would you like to buy it? I said, it's a wonderful place, but we really don't have the budget. And she surprised me by saying, make an offer. So I said, well, we'll give you $3.9 million, knowing that she would never take it. And she said, I'll take it. And then I thought I was going to have the big one right there on the spot, because we didn't have the money whatsoever. But you know, I found that money follows ministry.
That's right.
So we said, we'll give you $500,000 down if you let us move in, and then a year and a half from now, we'll give you the money. I didn't have the foggiest idea, Jerry, how we were going to be able to get that money, but we just took a step. And today that place is completely paid for, debt-free. Some $49 million has gone into fixing up all the rooms.
Wow.
And today we are approaching 1,500 people that live at the Dream Center. They don't pay a penny. They're people that are former prostitutes, drug trafficking people, people that have come out of gangs, any kind of hurting people. And the Lord has provided for a place. I've never seen any place like it in the world, Jerry. I've traveled the world, seen many great revivals, but literally every day, hundreds of people are finding Christ, going into a place where they can be rehabbed for at least a year. Lives are being changed by the power of God. And it all started with just a dream, not knowing how we'd ever reach that dream.
Now, the congregation, pastored by Matthew Barnett,
Yes.
along with yourself, is made up of not just the homeless, but movie stars. I mean,
Yeah.
tell us about the mix. It's amazing.
Well, again, we went out reaching people that were sleeping in boxes in the
Yeah.
street and running buses and picking them up in Skid Row and going under the bridges and going to burn-out buildings where teenagers were that had come to be movie stars,
Sure.
but they ran out of money. Well, they started coming to church. But surprisingly, the elite of Hollywood started showing up. We probably have 200 young, aspiring movie stars that attend. We have some of the most well-known movie stars that attend our church. Matter of fact, Stevie Wonder showed up Easter Sunday, and he said, "Matthew, can I sing a song?" And Matthew said yes. So we've defied the rules. You know, the Fuller Growth Institute says you either have a poor church or a rich church or a middle-class church.
Right.
You can't mix them all together. But the Bible said that the church had all things in common. And today, you'll see a guy who slept in a box the night before, sitting beside a Sinbad, or an outstanding movie star that is sitting there in the church. And we have more probably movie stars that attend that church right along beside their hurting people. And every Saturday, we have a program called Adopt a Block, where they literally go out, 700 people, a lot of them being movie stars, and we've given them a block to adopt, and they visit that block every single week. And they say to them, "What can I do for you? I'm your blockhead. Can I feed you? Can we paint your graffiti? What do you need?" And we literally serve 400 blocks. And every Sunday morning, they literally pour out of these blocks into a beautiful place that has been given to us called Angelus Temple. And every Sunday we see, literally, Jerry, we see 600 or 700 people accept Jesus Christ every Sunday morning that have been bussed out, that have come because when we reach out and take care of their needs, their little hearts open up. And today, the greatest revival I've ever seen in my life is taking place in the inner city of L.A.
You know, when I think about what God has done through you, you've had such a heart for pastors. You're Joyce Meyer's pastor, but you're the pastor of pastors all over the world. Talk about why you have such an empathy for pastors.
Well, you know, every year we have a pastor school where 6,000, 7,000 pastors come and attend. It's a show and tell. And I've spent my life trying to help pastors build their church. And when we started the Dream Center, those pastors said to me, "We want to help you now." And the Dream Center has literally been built on giving time to pastors. That's kind of what the book is about. If you will spend half an hour giving a pastor some time to help him reach his dreams, oftentimes whatever you give out comes back pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And you know, recently I had 2.5 years ago a heart operation. I didn't have a heart attack, but they found a leaky valve and they went in. And I'm healthy now. I'm lifting weights, running, doing all the things that I've ever done. But you know what I found out? I found out that when I came back and I made my other son, Matthew, the lead pastor at Phoenix First, and then I made Matthew the lead pastor at the Dream Center. But sitting on the front row, I realized, you know what? I need a new dream. The older you get, the more important it is that you have a dream of the finish line. So I said, how do I want to finish my life? And it hit me. I have a new dream, and my dream is to help pastors reach their dream. And that's what I'm doing. Last year I went to 10 different countries, holding conferences all the way from Hillsong to South Africa to 10 different countries. And I'm having the time of my life. Sitting down with you last night, talking about the great dreams that you have, Jerry. Man, God has used you greatly, but now you have even greater dreams for your life. And my dream is to live vicariously through other men and through churches to help them reach their dream. Everybody needs a dream of the finish line.
And fulfilling that dream is the management and the exercise
Yes.
of time. I want you to take this book and look right in that camera and tell people why they need the power of a half hour.
You know, we all have dreams, but the problem is that we're all busy people. And usually we don't have time to accomplish the dreams that we have. At least we think we don't. That's what this book is about. It is reclaiming your life 30 minutes at a time. A lot of times mothers who have 2 or 3 jobs, now single mothers, are saying, Pastor, how can I have time to accomplish my dreams? Well, it's amazing. You can throw a lot of balls with your son in a half hour. You can buy your daughter a dress in a half hour. You can get awful close and be a buddy to somebody in a half hour. This book right now is not just a time managing book, it's more than that. It's a life managing book. How that you can reach your dreams with time you thought you didn't have. You know, the wasted time, waiting for the plane to take off, waiting for a doctor's appointment. Those half hours can be turned into productive times to reach your dreams. And most of our dreams are not reached because we do not have time, we think. But there's a whole world called the wasted time, the half hours of your life. This could turn your life around. This could turn your children around. I think of Susan Wesley, 18 children. She was by herself. And yet she gave to each of her child every week, had 18 of them, 30 minutes every week. 30 minutes to an hour, just helping them reach their dreams. This book can help you immensely.
Dr. Tommy Barnett, and the book is entitled The Power of a Half Hour. It's available at our e-store, and I want you to call today and get it. Because when we redeem the time, it's amazing how God multiplies the effort, and He does things we can never do. Time is, a kid spells L-O-V-E-T-I-M-E. This is a big message to parents, is it not?
Yes, and you know, oftentimes kids don't like to spend all day with adults, but they love half hours. And when my kids look back at me and they say, what do you remember about your dad? They don't remember the sermons I preach, but they remember every evening going to 31 Flavors. They love those little short times that we spend with them.